I got Chubby.
Yeah, it's good to see you. How are you doing?
I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine.
All right.
But the market is not smiling today.
Yeah, I know the market is actually been it's actually been one way or the other because since after the upturn we had around February, March, the market has actually been dancing. It's been dancing. It's up today, it's down tomorrow. So it's even hard for people
Absolutely.
to define whether we are actually in a bull market or we're in a bear market.
We are not even in a bull market yet. They've already used the bull for bull for us soon. So we'll be talking more on common investing mistakes that people make in the stock market and also going forward. So, like I said, it's an open discussion. So perhaps if anyone in the meeting room has any question, you can ask. Then you can also discuss about it. So let me um allow my guy to say something first if I talk.
All right. Thank you, Nathanael. I'm just hoping you can allow me to share my screen when we're talking and we're having interactions. When we have slides to actually exemplify what we're saying, it makes people understand it. So today we're going to discuss common investing mistakes, and I like the way Nathanael said it. It's going to be an interactive one. So before I go ahead, I know Nathanael has done a little introduction, but let me just go ahead to introduce myself. My name is Daniels. I'm a civil engineer. I'm a real estate developer, and all through the while I've actually been working. I've been doing 9 to 5, and I'm privileged because I got exposed to the financial markets early because my parents actually invested in the Nigerian stock market, and at some point I caught the interest. I was like, I wanted to know what's really going on there. So that really made me to actually go into these things. I wanted to see what's going on so that I can realize what's going on for myself and then use it to my own advantage. So that's how I got into the financial market. So my style of investing, I'm a fundamental analyst. I believe in looking at the intrinsic value of the stocks and then making them, looking at the way it is, understanding the business before you actually put your money and all things. So I think that is something, one way or the other, that led to today's topic. So I'm quickly going to share
Yes,
my
yes.
slide. My Twitter handle is at Chubby Daniels. In case you want to follow me on Twitter, I do talk about a lot of things on Twitter. And then if you want to follow some of the other links to some of my profile, Instagram, Facebook, the link tree below can actually lead you to that. Common mistakes in investing. And okay, the first thing we're going to do, we're just going to talk about it in 3 ways. I know the main aspect we're going to spend more time on is when it comes to the strategy. The first thing I want to say is about choosing the right people. And this is the same thing I always like to talk to people about whenever we talk about investing in the stock market. We see a lot of people when they just come to the stock market and you're introducing somebody to assets, cryptocurrencies, and all that. First thing they ask you is, what can I buy? And that is actually the wrong question, because you are not supposed to be concerned about what you are supposed to buy. You're supposed to be concerned about, who am I going to follow? Who is going to lead me through? Who is going to be my friend? Where am I going to belong? So as I said here, choosing the wrong people is the first and foremost investment mistake. It's like when you're going out with the wrong friends. A lot of people go out with the wrong friends. Even when they are drunk, they have actually like committed something that they are not supposed to do. But due to the fact that they're actually moving with the right set of people, their friends actually protect them and make sure that nothing wrong happens to them, even though they are wrong. But when you see yourself actually mingling with the wrong people, you discover even something unfortunate happens to you, they even laugh at you, they don't guide you through. So the early stage, the first thing when it comes to the investing game, and where a lot of people miss it, is actually people picking. Because people picking is the first thing you do. Later stages is when you talk about picking the business. Any group that you're joining and they actually tell you something about being careful, is definitely a good group. And why do I say that? One thing, a lot of people want to get you excited about the market and get you to be in a euphoric mood. But one thing you want to understand, that the market is not so easy to operate. So any person asking you to be careful in the market is actually the nice person. He's not just trying to get you all excited, but just trying to get you to be careful. Belong to good communities. And something I always tell to people, when you want to start investing, you don't have to belong to every community. Find the right people. Know the community you want to belong to. Belong to the right community, because when you belong to the wrong community and when you follow the wrong people, you are setting yourself up. I don't know, Nathanael, have you seen these people that they are just new to the market and they are already following everybody on YouTube and Twitter? I don't know if you've experienced that. You've seen somebody like that.
I usually see I just see them. They're always like everywhere. Even at the point
Yes.
I had to um unfollow some people that I was following on Twitter before. Not like they are
Yeah.
bad or they share wrong information, but
Yes.
I don't just need them again.
Yes.
That is one thing people should take note of. You cannot just be everywhere. Imagine a couple now. The husband is going to XYZ church, while the wife is going
Yeah.
to ABC church. There will be conflict in the house because the pastor of
Yeah.
the
The
husband would
doctrine.
say,
The doctrine
yeah,
will be the
hey, he
doctrine
would
will
say
be clashing
something,
every
the
time.
wife will say a different thing. There would always be trouble. So it's always good to have a focus. So being in a community is absolutely right. You cannot overemphasize the need of a community because you
Yeah.
grow together, you win together, you lose together. But if you are following everybody, you'll be confused because people have different strategies, people have
Yeah.
different
Yeah.
ideas of the market, and who you follow determines which information you cling to.
Yes, exactly. I think the last point you made is something I just wanted to point out right now. And there's a reason why people picking comes before business picking. It comes before strategy picking because the people you are around, that means the businesses you're going to pick. It means the strategy you're going to pick. If you're in a community and all they talk about is meme stocks, no matter how good you are, no matter how disciplined you are, you will see yourself trying to develop strategies around meme stocks. Do you understand? So the first thing you have to do is pick the right people. Make sure the people you are the right people. And as I said, success is a group game. It's not something you do alone. A lot of people want to be the lone wolves. They want to conquer the market and be everything on their own. No, you can't do that. You have to actually work with people. The next one is something called platform risk. The number one thing you want to avoid, no matter what you're doing, no matter the asset class you're investing in, is platform risk. Now, what is platform risk? Platform risk is the risk attached to the fintech app that you're using, attached to the brokerage app that you're using, attached to the trading app that you're using. So anything attached to the instrument that you're using, that risk is bigger than the risk that you get during your when using your assets. So one thing you want to make sure is you avoid platform risk. So how do you avoid platform risk? You avoid platform risk by choosing the right platform. Remember, we said the first thing is picking the right people, because when you pick the right people, you can ask the necessary questions, and these people will actually guide you into picking the right platform. But when you don't choose the right people, you can already make a mistake and you're already picking the wrong platform. So you're already in stage 2 error. And something about these mistakes, I think I want to talk about this before we continue, is when you start making one mistake and there's nobody to say, hey, bros, come back, you discover you just continue compounding on the mistakes till there's a place it is, you are just under a catastrophic failure. Let's say you pick the wrong people. Let's say you've landed to the number 2 mistake, you pick the wrong platform as well. Now you meet somebody, maybe you met Nathanael or somebody else that gave you the right advice. This platform you're using is like it's fraudulent, it's not even right. Now you can't even figure out that this person is doing something good for you, because when you want to take the advice and make something out of it, you are listening to the people from the other groups that you have actually gathered a lot of wrong people in. So they're telling you, don't mind whatever somebody is saying, continue with what you're doing. You're already setting yourself up. So platform risk is actually something you want to avoid. You want to make sure that the platform you want to know the spread, like you want to know how much they charge you. What happens if you don't trade for some time? What happens when you die? Do these people, will they contact your people as when something happens to you? Now, earlier in the year, I think that was on December 10th, I bought GameStop. I actually bought it for legit reasons. I was not formally into short squeeze. And I have the screenshots here. These are the screenshots I took. This is not the final one. I think I sold it around 2000 when it actually went up a little more. Now, this is what happened. Exactly at this point, something happened. I was using Trading 212, but they halted my ability to actually trade, because at that point, a lot of people could actually buy more and make more money. This is the clearly trading at this point. When I bought for investment reasons. But you consider that, okay, if these platforms can actually ban you, you're already making, okay, I had it close to 2000%. I believe everyone can see the screen. When you have 2000% and then they can ban you, now is greater. Like the platform risk is now greater than whatever you're making from the assets. So it doesn't matter if you're going to make 2000% like me. If the platform is going to hurt you, and this is why a lot of people were mad at Robinhood. That's why they even had to answer. They had to go and to the Senate and actually sit, because it's not about the assets. The assets, yes, the assets can be risky. We want to focus on that when we talk about the next strategy. But if you actually do all the calculations you need to do, you do the magic, you use the crystal ball, and then the platform the platform is like the ground you are standing on. No matter what you are carrying, even if you are getting gold and silver and all that, and you are standing on a building that is shaking, when the building collapses, you fall together with the building. So you want to make sure that you are careful with the platform that you are using. Now, I know you remember what happened with Bamboo Trove and Chaka. Normally, when you are classifying this, you classify this as an economic risk. But when the economic risk is definitely not affecting every entire platform under that economy, affecting specific fintech apps or brokerage apps. So you actually classify that as platform risk. So before you start investing, don't just make the mistake of rushing to pick a platform. Make sure you understand the platform risk. When you come to Ponzi schemes, you can actually identify 99% of the Ponzi schemes if you actually focus on understanding platform risk. We're not talking about the assets. Now, what Ponzi schemes and actually all the I know this is away from the stock market, but it's actually part of assets and we have to discuss it. Now, what happens with Ponzi schemes and some other people that just tell you, okay, we are doing FX for you, we will do FX for you, bring your money, we'll give you 20% in 2 days. Now, what happens with those people is most times you don't ask them about the platform. Now, one thing, they want to distract you, they want you to focus on the risk that's attached to the assets and try to convince you that there's no much risk attached to the assets. But if you just change your focus a little bit and focus on the platform risk, you can actually identify something that's going to be fraudulent and you can actually escape falling to scams and Ponzi schemes. So platform risk, not picking the right platform, is actually one of the major mistakes.
So let me even cut you a bit. Talking about this platform risk and the Ponzi and everything. So there was one guy many months ago, he actually messaged me on a Facebook. That was around, I think, April or March or so. Then in August, the guy now messaged me. So when I saw the, and I went through the chat and I was like, oh, we even had the discussion before. So he was not telling me that he has an issue. I was like, okay, what happened? He was not giving me screenshots of some discussion. So apparently the guy went to put his money in all this investment something. So they were now sending him chats, but by the time something is already about to like crash, they'll be giving you English and everything. So I started talking. So the guy, the person that was investing with, sent him all this court order or something. When I saw they already caught this guy. So it was not telling. So like they were not telling that the government actually placed a ban on the apps that they were using and everything. I was not like, okay, did he tell you the app they were using? He said no. I was not like, okay, did he give you reason why he cannot tell you? He said no. I just saying that, okay, they already scammed you. So even if this is about US stocks, but generally people just focus on the ROI.
Something I want to focus on is because most times when we invest in Nigeria, we have a little difficulty in Nigeria. We have these platforms that we are not sure of what is going to happen next. So you just want to make sure you focus and understand what is really going to happen next with any particular platform you're investing in before you invest with that platform. I actually place people above platform because if you have the right people, somehow they can actually manage to help you to figure out the right platform. But when you actually fall for a wrong platform, it doesn't matter what you're buying. It doesn't matter if you're losing. If you're losing, it's even worse for you. Because imagine, okay, you're actually making gain, and then there's the platform risk that everybody's afraid of occurs. Then there's a problem. But if you're actually on a loss, let's say you started buying, your entire portfolio is minus 50%, and so then you cannot continue with that platform. You see what happens is you are going to carry your loss, your capital, and everything. And the next one is actually formulating and sticking with a strategy. Now, something I used to tell people all the time is just something about the wrong clock. There's something they say about the wrong clock. They say the wrong clock is actually twice, 2 times a day. And everybody, if you have a dead clock, I think I have one somewhere here, can actually attest to that a wrong clock, sometimes 2 times in a day, it has to be correct. Now, one thing I always want to talk to people about, or I want people to understand this with is, I just tell somebody to imagine someone just picks up a dead clock and he's walking around and he's just turning the hands of the clock continuously as he's walking around. The chances of that clock being correct, even 2 times in a day, goes away completely. That's what happens when you don't have a defined strategy. That's what happens when you don't stick to a defined strategy, because it's not about the strategy you pick, because you are actually changing strategy from one strategy to the other and all that. And then something I discovered is that when we talk about strategy, a lot of people don't understand what do we really mean by strategy. Now, what we mean by strategy is, I started talking about on the slide, I talked about personally my strategy, looking at the business. But strategy is about how you enter, the amount of money you actually allocate to the particular stock, how much you size it, and how you exit. That is everything about strategy. All investors are traders, but not all traders are investors. So what is the difference between a trader and an investor? It's just the way they actually enter and exit the market. Now, a trader is just interested in looking at the charts, making a very short term, everything short term, without even getting concerned with what's happening on the business. It can be a very trash business, like a business that's not doing anything good. A trader will go there, do the manipulation with the charts, take the money and run away. An investor is actually looking at the health of the business because he's going to stay longer with the business. So But but at a particular time that you are confused, you don't know whether you're a trader, you're an investor, you're already facing a major problem. And that is something that happens when you don't pick the right people. If you pick the wrong people, you are not sure whether you're a trader or an investor. You're already setting yourself up. Because sometimes the traders will be saying something, and this is something people confuse a lot. Formulating the right strategy is about you knowing what is your goal. What is your goal at the end of the day? Do you want to be a trader and investor? Are you around traders and investors? Where do you strike the balance? And if you can actually do that, you can actually realize the best platform to use, because not all platforms are good for trading and investing. If you are around the wrong people, like you're around the wrong people, and then they have to choose a platform that's best for investing, and then you listen to another person, he's a trader, he tells you another thing about trading, you don't even know that the platform this guy is using is best for trading. This is just something I said moments ago about getting it complicated, because at a point you can actually buy a stock that you're supposed to be trading, you've invested in it, you are down by 80%, and you are supposed to have left when it was 6% down, you are using the wrong platform. It's good not to set yourself up with these mistakes. Once you figure out the people, you figure out the platform, the next thing is to make sure you get the right strategy. Know whether you're a trader or an investor. And if you get the one you do, stick with it. I tell the people I interact with all the time, I tell them, most times I take 1 trade or 2 trades a day, a month, not a day, a month. Sometimes it can be more than that, it can up to be 5. I don't think I've ever taken up to 5, more than 5 trades in a month. Now, the stocks I trade are the stocks I own in my portfolio. Because these stocks, I actually understand the movement. I'm invested in them. So I have so much of my net worth and everything in them. I understand their movement. I understand what moves these stocks. There's a news that will come out like, it will move this stock. I know now it cannot move the stock. But I know the news that can actually move the stock. And I can say, okay, since it's going to move the stock, I have a percentage allocation I'm keeping in cash. Let me just take 5% out of this and then use it and just take money so I can use it and do weekend. I know that before next week, it will turn my money.
Okay, thank you very much. I wanted to know if I can move my stock from straw to bamboo.
Now, something you were saying about the platform, even if you're using free trade, even if you're using Robinhood, you can actually transfer your stocks from bamboo to even Robinhood. Let's say you're not even in Nigeria, you are not in the USA, you are not in the UK. You can transfer your stocks to from bamboo to Robinhood, free trade, and every other platform. The only thing is maybe it's going to cost you a little money. It's going to cost you a little money, but you can do that. The only thing with DriveWealth is if it's under the same brokerage, DriveWealth is controlling Chaka, Portfolio, Trove, and Portfolio. So if it's under the same DriveWealth, they are not going to collect any single dime from you. They will just move it for you for free. But assuming I was moving my stocks from Bamboo to 3212, which is 100% possible, it's just going to cost you a little fee. You don't want to place one platform above the other. What I say is take a little money, use all of the platforms. If you can put a little money in all of them and try. I did that. If you don't have money, remember the first thing we said is about picking the right people. If you have the right people and you ask them the right questions, they will tell you the platform that is the best. And then you can use your own initiative to compare these platforms and pick the best platform that is for you. Whenever somebody comes to the market, the first problem they have is, what do I buy? And that is where a lot of mistakes come from, because when you don't know what to buy, you are bound to make a mistake. It's like, Nathanael, imagine you are going to the market, you have money, and you don't know the kind of soup you want to cook. You are bound to buy the good ingredients and the bad ingredients and mix them together and then make a very, very, very bad soup from. So what is the solution to that? What do you do because you don't know what to buy? The first thing is actually asking yourself an alternate question. What shouldn't I buy? What should I not buy? Because if you know the next things to avoid, you can actually know the best things to buy. Let's say you're going to the market and you want to cook egusi soup. And we definitely know that buying sugarcane is not part of egusi soup. If you can actually identify the stocks to avoid, you actually increase your chances of knowing what to buy. Now, a lot of people come to me and like, what are you going to buy? If you know what to avoid, the chances of you knowing what to buy increases drastically. Because if I was to give you like a poll, I tell you, okay, look at these things, which one are you going to pick? If you are able to remove the ones that are not going to give you what you want, the result you want from the strategy you are going to use, the chances of you picking the right stock is there. So one thing I'm not going to do, and a lot of people are not going to do that, is tell you, okay, your problem is knowing what to buy, and that's how you make the mistake. Oh, yeah, go and buy Tesla. That's not what I'm going to do. If somebody is telling you to go and buy Tesla, it's not me. I can actually tell you I have Tesla. I think I'm up by 85%. Not 85, sorry. I'm up by 75% on Tesla. I have only 2 shares. So now what happens is, I'm not going to tell you that, but I can tell you what to avoid. I can tell you, okay, if it's very close to its all-time high, and maybe it's not going with sound fundamentals, please avoid it. I can tell you, okay, if it's a hype stock, there's hype stocks that they just hype all the time. the chances of you actually making a mistake there is high. I can tell you to do that. You have overvalued stock. We have meme stocks. I always tell people to avoid meme stocks for a certain reason, because meme stock is not under your control. You cannot do anything about it. So what can you do to meme stock? It's best if you avoid meme stocks, because you are not in control. The chairman of Wall Street Bets, don't buy meme stock. Just find out the industries. Find out the industries, find out the markets, find out the economies. Like we know China. Nathanael, you know what's going on with China. A lot of things are going on. The CCP just discovers you are doing well, or you are not progressing, or you're not saying the things they want you to say. They just clamp down on you. It's not about the particular stock doing well. Even if the stock there is doing so well, and the economy is not something you want to go along with, you want to avoid that. So if you can make a comprehensive list of the things you want to avoid buying, then the chances of you buying the right thing to go forward is going to be drastically increased. I was talking to someone, I think that was the day before yesterday. I was like, you're supposed to be investing in the stock market. And I started telling him about buying fantastic companies, because the most beautiful thing about investing in the stock market is you can invest, and these assets will be under your name. You are not buying with Nathanael's name. You are buying it with your own name. Your own name will be there. And I started telling the person about all the stocks that the person could buy. I talked about Apple and all the solid stocks and what they made. The first thing the person asked me is like, these ones have gone far. You said they are 500. The price is 500. That means they are gone far now. I cannot buy it anymore. And that's the first mistake we make, because we always feel that the share price is everything. There are some people that they don't look at anything that the share price is above 100. So share price is not what's going to determine what's the overall strength. You want to focus on market cap, because market cap actually tells you the story. What share price is I'm going to real estate experience. I know a lot of people who understand this, even though it's not particularly my field. As me, I just bring you inside the room, and the room is so beautiful. You are looking at everything, and I just ask you to estimate how rich the people in the estate are, or how many rooms are there in the building. You are just in one room. You cannot know the true value of the building by just staying in one room. So when you bring all the individual rooms and bring them together, you can actually understand the true value of the building. And then bringing all those individuals together, and what you actually get is what we call the market cap. Market cap of the stock determines how far it will go. If the share price of the stock is actually $1,000, it looks so big, but the market cap is still $1 billion. It has not gone far. The chances of it actually going further is very much, because it still has a lot of room to run. You know, when you are big, the chance of you actually going bigger is not so strong. Let's talk about companies that are maybe in the trillion. We have 6 companies that are that are in the $1 trillion club.
Let me even give another example. So, if looking at the share price, whoever doesn't really know much about Apple will see Apple as a very, very cheap stock, in the sense that, okay, it is 100. If you look at Upstart is now 300. So if you don't know about these two companies, you would think, Apple is cheaper, Upstart is very expensive. But now if you look at the market cap, you see that Upstart is still less than 30 billion. It's still less than $30 billion at $300 share price. But Apple is just about 150, 160, but it is already $2.2 trillion. So Upstart still has much room to grow compared to Apple. So when you know about the company you want to buy, or the industry you're interested in, you look at the share price and the market cap. Even if you are trying to compare between two companies in the same industry, look at the market cap and the share price. So it will help you to know which one has more room to grow. Because the bigger the market size, it can also affect, in a way, the growth of the stock. Like now, Microsoft is already $2 trillion or so. You can't expect Microsoft to grow as fast as Tesla, for example. Tesla would still go faster than Microsoft because of the market cap. Because as the share price is increasing, the valuation also increase. So we should take note of these things too. When you are trying to get a stock, don't just look at the share price alone. A stock can be $500 and it's cheaper than another one that is just 12.
It's very hard to explain to somebody that is looking at something and you're telling him the price of this thing is $5, and he's looking at something else and he's saying the price of this thing is $1,000, and you're telling the person this $1,000 is a lot cheaper than this $5. So at the face value, it's very, very difficult for people to especially new people to understand. And I think that's what actually leads to the mistake, because if you're new to the market, and not just you, a lot of people that are even old in the market make that mistake. They just want to buy something that's cheap, believing that it's going to run, it's going to go up. So what they do is they just look at the share price at the face value and like, this one is $1 million. No, I cannot do that. So I think that's what happens there as well. The last thing I want to talk about is total addressable market. Now, you have to note about this because a lot of companies lie about this. Lying is something that's very common in the stock market because a lot of companies want to profit themselves to make them look big. Now, companies that lie about this are either companies that are small or companies that are big. They lie about this when they release their numbers. Because something about having a total addressable market is, I don't want to go into the mathematical formula because I didn't put it up in the chat. It's like, how many people can you actually sell what you're selling to? Like, how many people are going to be willing to pay for your product? That is what we call total addressable market. And then why do companies normally lie about this? Because even if your market cap is as huge as anything, if you actually convince people that there are still more people in the world that are willing to pay for this, that means your market cap is immaterial. Doesn't mean anything. A lot of people can pay for it. And then these big companies lying about it. And then we have the very small companies that have not actually gotten a big market cap, talking about their total addressable market as well. So they are trying to convince the investors that even though our market cap is small, there are a lot of people that we can sell this thing to. So we are going to move and become like a big company and have a very huge market cap. So even if the market cap seems so big, like let's say it's $1 trillion company, there are still chances that this company that's $1 trillion can go faster than the one that the market cap is just $1 million. If the total addressable market is there, let me just bring down the example. Let's bring it home and make it in a way everybody will understand. Let's say, Nathanael, you are selling a product. You are selling, let's find something that secondary school students used to enjoy. Should we call this gala? You are selling gala, right? No, don't say, no, you did like this. No, you are selling gala for now. All right, and me, I'm selling chocolates. And we are selling this chocolate and we are actually approaching this. So, but a survey done to this in the school, we discovered that a lot of people in the school, like most of the children, actually like chocolates more than they love gala. Do you understand? Now, if you were first, you actually came into the marketplace, you are selling gala, and then your business has actually boomed so much, and you've been there for years, you are like doing well, you are selling gala, you are now a big guy in the gala industry. But me, I just came in, I'm just carrying an umbrella and one small cooler of gala, and I came in. Now, remember the whole school, every people, like almost 99% will take my gala. Why is you currently, you're just serving 60% of the entire school. That the remaining 40%, no matter what you do, they don't want your product. Even if you redefine your gala and put extra pepper inside and put omo inside, they don't want your gala no matter what. But 99% of the people want my chocolate. So what happens is if I move into that location, even though you are big, your market cap is already big, you're already doing well. But something you have to understand, you have actually reached the apex of your total addressable market. There's nothing left in it for you. Even though I'm selling one cooler, there is going to be a demand. A lot of people want to buy my own product because 99% of the school want chocolate. So that means I have a better room to run than you that's actually already, like you've actually reached big. So I hope this explains a little bit of total addressable market. So even though the share price is important, you want to just look at the share price and know how the stock is doing today. Because how you want to know whether the stock price is going up or going down, it's not by the market cap. Yeah, the share price affects the market cap, but what they show you an initial value is share price. So after looking at the share price, first thing you want to know that is more important than share price is the market cap. You want to understand what is the market cap of this company because that will determine whether this company still has room to run or not. But after those two, you want to actually focus on how many people are willing to buy this product if you actually divide it. How many people are going to be willing? So even if the products are actually gone up, I think I said it's a small company. As me, you're a big company, you understand, you're a bigger company. And your total addressable market, let's just exchange, your total addressable market is 99. You understand? You are just serving 60 out of 99. And I come in, I'm selling chocolates, but my total addressable market, let's say the people, they eat chocolate, is only 40. If you don't understand this, you think I have more room to run than you. But since your total addressable market is 99, even though you're at 60% already and you're already big, it doesn't mean that me that is small has more room to run because I can only serve 40 people. It's only 40 people that want to buy my market. And you, even though you are selling to 60 people already, you still have the chance of selling to 99%.
Yeah.
So if you have the chance of selling to 99%, even if your market cap, your store is already big, you can actually grow faster than me. Even though I'm just young in the market, I just wanted to set the examples two sides so everybody could understand. So after looking at market cap, what you have to understand is total addressable market determines the market share. Like how much of the market you are going to take at the end of the day. So it's not just about focusing on the market cap. This is about knowing when to sell. Now, this poses another major problem because it's not just about buying. A lot of people bought a lot of brilliant stocks, but they don't know when to sell the stock. They have a problem of knowing when to sell. If you're a trader and you don't use your stop loss, that means you are stupid. If you're an investor and then you're using a stop loss, I think the reverse is the case. Then you become the stupid one actually. So it just functions some way the other way around. Because now what stop loss does for you, if you're actually an investor, is going to prevent you from getting your goal. An investor is trying to compound something and build something large at the end of the day. The stop loss is just going to cut you out of it. But if you're a trader, you want to take small gains. And if you don't have stop loss, the market will just kick you out and then you make nothing out of it. When you have a position, I think that's the first thing. When you have a position, it's a core position. What do you want to do when you want to sell? The first thing is, do you need the money for a non-investing reason? First thing you want to understand is why we invest. We invest so that we can actually live good lives. You can't actually be having health issues and every other thing, and you are not willing to sell your investments because you don't want the loss, you don't want to take away the money. That's being lunatic. So you have to actually know if it's a non-investment reason, and it's very necessary, then you should liquidate some of your positions so you can solve that problem. The next thing I want to talk about is if it's actually not a non-investment reason that is very solid, then you shouldn't be investing it. And that's the next thing you can see in red there. You shouldn't be investing it. So, but if the reason you want to sell, why do you want to sell? It's not a non-investing reason. Is it management incompetence? Yes. If the management is incompetent, that means your thesis is broken. Because the management is just like, when we talk about the important factors, the management is at the top. Because the management determines what's going to happen with your stocks and all that. So if it's management incompetence, that's the reason why you want to sell, then probably you should sell everything. You should probably sell everything. You shouldn't even leave a little. And then if your thesis is broken, there's something going fundamentally wrong. This company was supposed to be producing phones, but we have a manager that came in and said, no, we are not going to be producing phone anymore. We are producing soaps. And the thing is tanking the business and all that. What are you supposed to do? You are supposed to probably sell everything as well. Now, remember something. If you are supposed to take for non-investing reason, it doesn't mean you're supposed to liquidate everything you have in your portfolio. Let's say you have $100,000 in your portfolio, and then you want to make use of it for a non-investment reason. It's a healthcare reason or something. And what you need is not just 100,000. You need 20,000. You shouldn't just go and liquidate the entire portfolio just because of that one reason. You should just sell some of it. Maybe sell some of the ones that you are sure of, like they are in green position and they are not gonna affect the portfolio so much. You sell those ones and then make use of what you are supposed to make use of it from. Sorry, there's something called size of the a particular stock becoming uncomfortable. Now, when you buy a particular stock and the size of it is actually going way too down or way too up, then there's an allocation problem. A lot of people make a mistake of thinking allocation problems comes only when the stock is going big. There can be a problem with allocation when the stock is actually tanking. You bought a stock and it was actually 5% of your portfolio. Now it's 0.005% of your portfolio. If you are not actually holding that forever, then you have an allocation problem. You should be knowing you are either going to be selling some or selling everything so that you can get away from that mental issue. Then if it's actually getting too big, you're actually risking as well because you bought a particular stock and it's now 50% of your portfolio. You are at risk. If something happens with the management and everything tanks, you are going to lose a lot of money. So if the position is getting too uncomfortable, you should probably sell some. You want to make sure that you are comfortable with the size of every portfolio. But don't be afraid to let some stocks run, because stocks running is what you are. That's how you are going to outperform the market in the long run. So even if the position is getting uncomfortable, you can see from the flow chart, the thing doesn't lead to sell all. You say sell some, so that you still keep some, so that you can use that to outperform the market. Then if it's actually getting outrageously overvalued against the fundamentals, like the fundamentals and the size of the price of the company don't agree, are you supposed to sell? You are supposed to wait and know whether you're going to fix this, because the thesis is not broken. It's just like people are getting so crazy about it. So if there is a better position elsewhere, yes, maybe you can sell. But if there's no better position, you are not supposed to do that. So, but if it's not overvalued, the position is not too much, thesis is not broken, the thesis is still there, they are still keeping to their promise, everything is still going on well, what are you supposed to do? You are supposed to buy more. And if the thesis is okay, and then you are, everything is going well, but the price has not gone outrageous and every other thing, the price increased a little. What are you supposed to do as well? Or the price is falling, but your thesis is not broken. You're supposed to buy more as well. I think the flow chart is self-explanatory. I just hope everyone could make use of this and then know when to sell a stock, especially if you're an investor. If you're a trader, please don't follow this. If you're a trader, you have your the other rules about 6%, 1%, depending on the trader that you are. Make use of those rules and then now you can actually pick the right people, pick the right platform, know what to buy, know when to buy, know when to sell. But because you are greedy and then you lack patience to wait for some of these stocks, it's going to make you to do a lot of mistakes along the way. And all those mistakes is going to affect the overall health of your portfolio, which is going to affect the overall returns you have. So first thing you have to understand that the stock market is not like a Ponzi scheme. It's not a get rich quick scheme. It's something that's going to make you rich slowly. So if you're thinking that you're going to get rich very quickly, that's not what the stock market is going to do for you. You actually have to have patience. Know that this thing is going to take time. Then you don't have to get crazy and like, say Chubby, he made 2,000% from GameStop. I must put all my money in. You may even go and start buying GameStop right now. And that may not actually be the best thing to do, because maybe a lot of people are selling. I don't know what's going on with it at the moment. So a lot of people may be selling and all that. You just have to make sure you are not trying to get quick gains. You have to focus on getting rich slow. Investing is like planting a tree. If you plant a tree, you don't just sit back and watch the tree grow to a mature tree in one day. It has to take some time before the tree grows. So investment is like planting a tree. And then something about your short-term gains. A lot of people are concerned about the little money you are supposed to get in the short term. And I'm going to tell you this, you can write it down. I said it. If you can actually invest for the long term and then be patient enough and don't be greedy enough, it will get to a period that is just like planting a tree. A tree is not going to provide anything for you in the short term. But if you can be patient enough to wait for that tree to grow, it will provide shelter for you and it will provide food for you to eat. So if you invest for the long term, you are going to reach a time that what you have from the market is going to provide both your short-term needs and your long-term needs. So I think that is where we are going to end the presentation for now. So I'll be happy to take every question that anyone can throw at us. Let me stop sharing my screen for now.
Okay. The question from the chat, but what you are not going to buy is far more than what you plan to buy.
If you make a list of what you are not supposed to buy, you discover that the list is so big. You even know that a lot of things that are people telling you, oh, buy this, buy this, a lot of things that are flashing in your eye. That is even in the YouTube, the Twitter, the news and all that. You're going to discover that you are not supposed to buy any of those.
Right. Thank you very much, Nathanael, and thank you so much, Mr. Chubby Daniel. I must say I've learned so much from this session. This is my first time coming to listen on your platform, and I really appreciate it. So I'll take it from my first contact, which is the first point about the platform. I know everybody got to know about the news of the ban on Chaka, Trove, and Bamboo. I don't know anything about Binance platform, how everything works there, even though I have the technical knowledge, how to read the market chart and all that. So is it the same thing for if I want to trade on the US stocks using the Bamboo, for example, as a platform now?
Bamboo was designed for investors. So that's why if you are using Bamboo or Chaka or Trove, you would not see those technical charts.
If I want to be a trader of stocks, where do I do my chart analysis?
Right now, if you are dealing with different asset classes, you're going to use different platforms to do that. And then, as I said, I'm not advocating for any platform. I answered the question you asked earlier. Maybe you are not there then. What I said is, if you want to choose a platform, try to make use of all these platforms. Use most of the platforms to buy a little. That's what I did. That's what I advocate for. When you look at these platforms, you can even understand the one that is good for trading or not. The same way you have tools for analyzing forex, we have tools for analyzing cryptocurrencies, we have tools for analyzing stocks that you want to trade.
You talked about using platforms to understand, and I think you were talking to Mohammed, I don't know, I've forgotten his name, but you're talking to someone about using some platforms to understand charts and the rest. Well, my question is this: for companies, we need to actually read about them, and I know about Yahoo Finance. You can use Yahoo Finance to check a whole lot. For instance, like if I want to check for other companies, like some companies that probably I can't get full information from with Yahoo Finance. what other place can I go to get information, especially if I want to check the value of the stock, the founding partners of the stock, people that have invested in that stock, people that number of shares that people have, just those necessary information. Apart from your own finance, where else can I go? I'm throwing these questions to you and Chubby. Thank you.
All right, I want to take this because something he said is not correct, and I want to address that. Somebody asked a question about what is the best platform, and I told the person, use all the platforms to make sure you understand what is the best platform for you. The platform is not for evaluating the stocks, because I said something about platform risk. Platform risk is better, it's like way more, it has way more consequences than the asset risk. So even if you're buying the best assets and you're doing it on the wrong platform, you are still going to lose. Maybe the way they are going to tax you, maybe they are spread, maybe the platform is going to get the platform totally. So you have a bigger risk with the platform. So that's what I talked about platform. I was not talking about the assets. And then the second question you were asking about there are a lot of things you can use. I think I just mentioned YChat. You have Yahoo Finance. Apart from Yahoo Finance, you have Simply Wall Street. You have Micro